Chris Scalzi here with
Matt Howell.
And on this episode of The First Run, Matt and I are going to discuss Star Trek Beyond, Part 3 in the Kelvin timeline, as they call it, of the J.J. Abrams produced Star Trek universe. But don't worry, we're going to discuss the original folks as well as we continue our 50th anniversary Star Trek marathon, this time with Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. And of course, I think a segment that ties in seamlessly. We're going to discuss our 5 favorite songs that have come out of movies. Just because I was listening to one the other day and I said, you know what, let's talk about that. So there you go. As usual, no rhyme or reason. Exactly. So let's start everything off, Matt. Let's hear a little bit from Star Trek Beyond.
My dad joined Starfleet because he believed in it. I joined on a dare.
You joined to see if you could live up to him. You spent all this time trying to be your father. And now you're wondering just what it means to be you.
It isn't uncommon, you know. It's easy to get lost. In the vastness of space, there's only yourself, your ship, your crew.
You really want to head back out there, huh?
What the hell is this?
They're boarding us.
Abandon ship!
Oh my God.
I know why you're here. Why we are all here. Our captain will come for us. Mercy will be the last thing on his mind.
I am counting on it.
Matt, I got to tell you, when they first announced Justin Lin was going to be directing this film, I was a wee bit nervous. If you're not familiar with Mr. Lin's oeuvre, he is mostly known for the Fast and Furious films. I think the first one he did was Tokyo Drift, considered the worst in the series. But he's also been helming the revitalization of that entire franchise. He did parts, 4 or 5, 6, and 7, or 4, whatever the hell their number they're up to at this point. I can't even keep track. So they brought in Lin because Abrams stepped out to do some other crappy science fiction property thing. I don't know. I don't know if that ever will pan out. So Matt, Justin Lin's brought in to do Star Trek Beyond. I have my concerns that this is going to be the Fast and Furiousization of the Star Trek universe. I like the first film a lot. I think the second film is solid, but maybe it has to pay too much fan service to tie in Khan and make it like a Star Trek II sequel. So I think it has shortcomings, and that brings us to Star Trek 3. So Star Trek Beyond. Matt, why don't you first tell the kids at home what's happening in Star Trek Beyond, and then tell me, did we get the Justin Linization of the Star Trek universe?
Well, so in Star Trek Beyond, they are a few years into their 5-year mission. They are traveling out in the depths of space, and they come across essentially a distress signal, and they go and they check it out, and it's a trap. And they are, the Enterprise is, I don't think I'm giving anything away, is destroyed, and they're trapped on this planet with an alien with indecipherable motives, and they have to try and get themselves off and stop the bad guy from destroying the Federation again, which seems to happen every other week. So that is what it's about. As far as whether this has been Justin Linified, I can't say because I haven't seen any of his Fast and Furious movies, so I have no point of comparison.
Well, let me give you a couple things. First off, the thing about the new Fast and Furious films is that they're basically insane. The action is so over the top and ridiculous. One of them, I think it's the second to last one, not the most recent one, the one before it. There's a scene where they have to get on a plane or stop a plane. So they're in their cars, and eventually they end up, one of the cars ends up blowing right through the plane. But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is the fact that the runway for this airport because this sequence is about 20 minutes long. So it's like the longest runway in the history of man. So I mean, it's just that kind of over the top, defying any possible suspension of disbelief whatsoever. So if that adds any kind of perspective,
it adds a little color. It adds some helpful color. So thank you. I wouldn't say it would go that far because I mean we are watching a film about cruise liners in space with weapons. So I mean, at least you can kind of just just kind of go with it for that kind of stuff. You're not worried about the physics of the runway being 75 miles long while they do this. So, yeah, I mean, I would definitely say I would say that it's definitely the most action-packed Trek movie. This has very little Trek feel. It's like it just starts and there's a little bit of plot in the beginning, and then that's it. And then everything else is basically an action scene after that. It was fun to watch, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's Trek that you're used to.
Okay. Well, how would you measure it up against the first two films? Of the Kelvin timeline.
Of the Kelvin timeline, I'd say it's probably a little bit better than Into Darkness. I probably wouldn't say it's as enjoyable as the first one.
Okay. Well, I have to say you're entirely wrong. I think this is easily the most enjoyable of the entire relaunch.
Okay.
I was nervous because as you saw in the trailers and as you mentioned, the Enterprise gets blown up. And one of my favorite things about this whole series, the whole Star Trek universe, is the Enterprise itself. So I was concerned about not having an Enterprise for 3/4 of a film, if not more. So I think that Lynn does a good job of giving me just enough Enterprise porn for the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the movie that I pretty much get everything that I'm hoping. I'm happy. I'm okay. Let's just say I'm okay. It still hurt me a little bit when they blew it up. I think it's done better than it was in Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. I think the not just technical effects, I think more just the overall impact of it, I think is actually done better than it was in Star Trek 3, the original Star Trek 3. I didn't realize that just till just now that they did mirror that the Enterprise got blown up in both threes.
There you go. For vastly different reasons. And
that's true.
Vastly different ways, yes.
Well, we do get the NCC 1701A a lot faster.
We do.
Because if you think about it, because the original Enterprise was in the 60s and they refit it in the 70s and they blew it up in 82.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a new one until 86? We'll talk about that later. So no, man, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was the most fun out of all of them. It's not as obsessed with the fan service like Star Trek: The Darkness was. It had some fantastic action set pieces. I really enjoyed it. One of the things I was nervous about too was the motorcycle scene, because that's in the trailer as well. But that actually played out a lot better than I anticipated that it would. I think one of the things I enjoyed the most about it is the cast itself.
Yeah.
There's no building of anything here. Everybody knows each other. We're all very comfortable. It's got a very good family feel to it. I think for me, again, the MVP of this film is probably going to be Karl Urban. I think his McCoy really knocks it out of the park for me. Out of all the interpretations of the original cast, his is probably easily my favorite. Who also I enjoyed as well, Sofia Boutella as Jayla, the alien scavenger woman that teams up with our crew. I think she was a lot of fun, and I'm curious to see if she continues on in the series. They have greenlit Star Trek 4 already, so I bet just even before 3 came out here, I guess because the reviews were so positive, they were confident to move forward. I got to admit, the numbers aren't looking too good, which surprises me and bothers me. It had an exceptionally steep drop, 61%, Matt, or maybe 59 when all is said and done. But it dropped a lot, and they're now wondering if it's actually going to make back its budget, at least here domestically.
Okay.
It cost $185 to make. It's currently at $106.5 here in the States.
Well, that's not good.
So it's got another 55 foreign. So we're sitting at about 161, 274 right now. We'll see what ends up happening. And I'm sure with I don't know if it's hit Asia yet though, and with home video and all that stuff too, I'm sure it'll be fine. But I'm surprised it's not doing better than it is. For me, it's one of the more fun films I've seen all year. I enjoyed it. I think Justin Lin does a great job of balancing the action and the emotion perfectly. I love the inner turmoil with Kirk. I had no problem with him questioning what he was doing. Right, one of the big themes of this film is he maybe being in deep space as the captain of the Enterprise, maybe after all, it's not for him. He joined Starfleet on a dare, unlike Shatner, Kirk. And he's starting to question what he's doing out there. And then, of course, we have the subplot too with Spock and Uhura. Though I feel if any of the kind of plot lines didn't get tied up well, I think it's that one. The relationship between Spock and Uhura isn't quite as everything's fine at the end, but I felt like we could have used a little bit more development in that. But overall, I don't know. I think I like I said, I enjoyed it the most out of all three so far of the relaunch.
Okay,
I did.
Yeah, I liked. I did appreciate. I will say that I like how they at least tried to give a reason for why the Beastie Boys was playing, and I thought it was a pretty clever way that they solved that. So I did enjoy that. It may have been tempered, to be quite honest with you. I went and saw this film, and they informed me that there was no air conditioning in the movie theater, so I was and this was like one of the hottest days of the year up here, so I was like sweating bullets. I was very distracted while I was watching this film. So I mean, I had fun. I watched it. It went by really, really fast. The action scenes are great. I think the characterizations and the interaction of the cast is right on point. I don't know. Maybe it'll have to take it a second viewing for me to see and watch them all again just to see which one, if I really feel the same way at the end of the day.
Interesting. I just saw the cast of Danny Pudi was in this film. I didn't even realize it.
I don't even remember where.
He was the character Fija. I don't even remember who that was. All right. Either way, I want to talk a little bit too about Idris Elba. So Elba is our baddie, right? We haven't really talked about the whole thrust of what's going on. So he plays a character named Crawl. And he's got a hard on for the Federation, and he wants to destroy it. And his motivations for everything matter. Well, let's put it this way: here's where we got to dance around things. I kind of figured the whole through line of his story arc. I kind of figured him out pretty quickly. I don't know. I think Lynn does a reasonably good job of not tipping his hand too soon. It was one of those. Oh, I bet you this is what's going to happen. And it did. So I don't know if it's a lucky guess on my part. I don't know. What do you think? Did he telegraph that too much? What did you think?
I don't think so. I mean, I usually am pretty good at figuring out those kind of twists. I figured it out pretty late into the film. So I mean, it lasted a long time where I guess either I wasn't really thinking about it that much or really trying to guess ahead, or he didn't telegraph it. I'm not sure which it is, or just the fact that I was sweating my ass off and I wasn't paying attention. So
yeah, I got to see this in the IMAX in an exceptionally well air conditioned theater down here. So
there you go. Well,
that was enjoyable. So there's also a little brouhaha, a little dust up too about the presentation of Sulu's relationship in the film. Have you heard about any of that?
I have, yes. So they kind of just matter-of-factly present Sulu as gay. They stop at a space station. He meets up with his husband and his daughter, and they kind of just go off. And that's really all they never bring it up again. It's never really, except, of course, obviously loved ones being in peril at the end of the movie. But I guess George Takei, who's a noted, gay activist, he took exception to that, just I guess because he had always played Sulu as straight, and he didn't think it was fitting with the character, and they were just doing it to do it, and he think it would have been better for them to create like an actual new gay character, whereas a lot of the people in the new film disagreed with him, and a lot of other people disagreed with him.
Yeah, I'm a big Takei fan. Yeah, I don't have an issue with it personally. I enjoy how matter-of-factly it was presented. So I think that was the most important part.
Yeah. I mean, I guess obviously I didn't have an issue with it or anything, but I guess Takei, if that's the way he felt that it should have been, I guess I don't begrudge him saying anything if that's the way he felt that Sulu always should have been presented. So it's fine with me.
And it's weird. I almost feel like it's an homage to Takei. To have Sulu be gay as honoring him. So that's why I was kind of confused by it. Maybe I didn't read it properly. I don't know. But I thought it was an homage to him as a respectful kind of thing. But he clearly didn't see it the same way.
No.
And then finally, one of the big losses too. So Leonard Nimoy passed away in the pre-production of this film. They give him thanks, and of course the big losses as well as Anton Yelchin. And Abrams has said, as continuing to produce the series, that they will not recast Chekhov. They don't know how they're going to deal with it going forward. Pretty much everybody's back at this point, but they are not going to recast him. So I'm curious to see how they end up resolving that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I think it's a good call not to recast Chekhov, but it'll be interesting to see if they kill him off or if he gets promoted or whatever. I'm not sure. But let's see what happens.
So do you have any concerns about that 60% drop in the second week? Do you have any concerns?
I'm actually surprised. I'm trying to, I mean, just with what else is out there, I can't imagine it has a whole lot of stiff competition. But I guess, I don't know. Even some of the geekier websites that I've read who were really into this kind of stuff, they had some criticism saying, it's an enjoyable film overall, but it's kind of dumb in places. So I don't know if that's keeping people away or not. But I don't know what it is. I'm surprised with you that it's dropped like that.
Yeah, I felt it had I thought it had enough of the Star Trek recipe for me to keep it going, and I just thought the action set pieces were so strong that it kind of glossed over maybe any shortcomings I may have had with that. And again, I think the other thing that pushes it over the top is just the uniform performance of the cast. Everybody's game, everybody's in, and it generally feels like it feels like a cast, like a family. Like it feels genuine to me. So I think that's why I was able to see past any potential shortcomings. So we're gonna give it, Matt. I say if you definitely need to see this. If you like any of the other previous films, if you're even a Star Trek fan, even scratch that. If you're just an action movie fan, you should really see this. It's a lot of fun. It's a big spectacle, and it deserves to be on the biggest screen you can find. I'd probably give it an A- right now.
Would you? All right, I'd probably give it a solid B. I'd give it a solid B.
All right. That's an A- too because of my affection for Star Trek. I'm sure is coloring my
original series Star Trek only.
That's right.
Even if it's new Kirk.
Yes. So if you've had a chance to see Star Trek Beyond, shoot us an email, feedback@thefirstrun.com. Matt, let's talk about what's coming up on Blu-ray and DVD this upcoming Tuesday. That's August 2nd. Keanu, the first feature film by Key and Peele, is being released on Blu-ray. It includes an ultraviolet and just some deleted scenes and a gag reel. A film that, I don't know, I use the term confounded, but I doodle when I talk and I just drew a penis. That is weird. All right. The Lobster is being released on Blu-ray and DVD. Actually, and one special feature, The Fabric of Attraction, Concocting the Lobster. Matt, do you have any interest in seeing The Lobster again? I don't think you do, correct? If I remember correctly.
Not really, but people seem to really like it. So maybe I missed something in the process. I don't know, but I don't know. I can't imagine I would want to see that again.
The Bronze is also coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. This is a little indie comedy about a odd person who goes into, is it the Olympics or some type of something like that, and it's supposed to be very raunchy and very kind of dirty and inappropriate type stuff.
Yeah. I had high hopes for that, but the reviews on it weren't very good, so I never caught it. But it has Melissa Rauch in it. She's supposed to play a local gymnast who won a bronze and then goes home to train other folk.
Okay. That includes some deleted scenes. Tom Hiddleston's High Rise is being released as well, directed by Ben Wheatley. Includes a bunch of behind-the-scenes featurettes, building the world of High Rise, 70s style, heady special effects, breaking down High Rise and its tenets. So it includes Tom Hiddleston, Jeremy Irons, Sienna Miller, Luke Evans, and James Purfoy. Matt, a film you and I think we're kind of looking forward to, but the reviews have not been good. Batman: The Killing Joke is being released on Blu-ray and DVD. And if you get it from Target, you get a steel book. There's also a limited edition one that comes with a figure, a little Joker figurine. And Best Buy comes with a figurine as well as a graphic novel on the Joker called The Man Who Laughs. So some behind-the-scenes featurettes on this one as well. But I got to tell you, man, I'm disappointed that the reviews are not that good. I guess they say that it takes a really kind of disturbing and sick Joker tale and actually takes all the bad stuff and makes it worse.
Oh, really? All right, well, I kind of have to see it just to see what this is all about.
Yeah, so maybe we'll catch up with that at some point. Also includes 2 episodes from Batman the Animated Series. Well, I should say one, the new Batman Adventures, and one from Batman the Animated Series. Scream is giving us one of the better remakes of all time, Matt, new to Blu-ray, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This is the one with Donald Sutherland. Have you seen that remake?
Yes.
So it's Philip Kaufman's version from the 70s. Jeff Goldblum is in it as well. A whole new 2K scan of the film, all new interviews with some of the actors and actresses, new commentary by author and film historian Steve Haberman, a bunch of other featurettes as well. I'm a big fan of this film. If you haven't seen it, it's Invasion of the Body Snatchers is one of those weird things that just tends to get really good remakes. I don't know what it is, but they're always solid, except for that one with Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig. I think it was just Invasion or something.
Yeah.
That one's not that good, but every other version of this one, Abel Ferrara's version, I like a lot with Gabrielle Anwar as well. That one's really good. So, but this I think is a really good version of it. Straight to DVD, Matt. I'm going to go with The Bet, just because of the cast. So it's a down on his luck man gets in a high stakes bet where he has one summer to find and hook up with every girl he had a crush on from the 1st to the 12th grade. So let's put the misogyny aside.
Yes,
that. Here's your cast: Alex Klein, and of course, when you want to do a romantic kind of comedy, maybe it's more of a Wedding Crashers swingers thing. Here's who you go to. You ready? Diamond Dallas Page.
Wow.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Wow.
And the dearly departed Roddy Piper.
Wow. That sounds fantastic.
It's because nothing screams romantic comedy.
Yep.
Like DDP. So that's your straight to DVD pick of the week, Matt. Is there anything on Netflix or Amazon or anything you've been streaming lately?
I've been catching up with the new Voltron series. It's actually pretty good. I liked it. I was a big Voltron fan when I was young. I remember when it finally came out on Toonami. They were re-airing the original episodes, and I started watching in college, and I was very disappointed on how bad it was, just because I guess my 5-year-old brain had really elevated it to something that it really wasn't. But I'm enjoying this so far. If you're a Voltron fan or a fan of kind of that, big mecha anime kind of stuff, it's fun to watch.
I love the show when I was a kid too. I haven't seen it though since, so I probably have the same reaction you did. And this is the Lions, right? Not that stupid one with all the little spaceships.
You're right. It is. This is appropriate. Go Lion Voltron.
All right, good. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. When I found out about the other series, I was like, "What is this BS?" Did you ever have? I had the big metal Voltron toy. Did you have that one?
I wanted it, but I never got it. And funny enough, and back in my early 20s, they re-released it, and my parents actually bought it for me as a kind of a joke, because I had wanted it when I was so badly when I was a kid.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Let's take a break, come back, and let's just keep going with the trek. Let's keep trekking.
Oh!
Star Trek 4. We'll be right back.
Avoid the planet Earth at all costs. We are under the attack of an orbiting probe.
Notify all stations. Starfleet emergency. Red alert.
Earth is on the edge of destruction.
We cannot survive unless a way can be found to respond to the probe.
The key to saving the future
Spock, you're talking about the end of every life on Earth.
can be found only in the past.
We're going to attempt time travel. Sulu, take us home.
These are the voyages of the crew of the Starship Enterprise.
Judging by the pollution content of the atmosphere, I believe we have arrived at the latter half of the 20th century.
Stardate 1986.
San Francisco. Our own world is waiting for us to save it.
They have 24 hours
Everybody remember where we parked. Break up.
to complete their mission.
You look like a cadet review.
We will beam in tonight, collect the photons, and beam out.
I want you all to be very careful.
Without being discovered.
We have an intruder.
All right, who are you?
You're not exactly catching us at our best.
That much is certain.
So, Matt, Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, is known as the fun one. This is the one that everybody says you can watch. You don't have to be a Star Trek fan to enjoy this movie. So if you don't recall, this is the one where we're on our way home from Vulcan, and the crew of the Enterprise, well, now of the USS Bounty, are coming home basically to get court-martialed, face whatever punishment they're going to get for stealing and blowing up a starship.
Mm-hmm.
So on their way home, they intercept some signals where there's a probe on its way to Earth, and sucks the power or stops the power out of everything it passes, and it's now going to destroy planet Earth because they can't figure out how to respond to this probe, Matt. So what happens is, of course, the only people who can figure it out are Kirk and Spock. So they're on the bridge of the Klingon ship, and they discover that it's actually a probe trying to talk to humpback whales that have been extinct for a couple hundred years. So, of course, their brilliant idea, Matt, is to go back in time, get a couple humpback whales, because there's no way in the 23rd century you could find a way to mimic the speech of a humpback. And I understand that they say, well, we wouldn't know what to say. We'd be speaking gibberish. All right, sure, fine. So we go back in time, and I think what the appeal of this film is really, Matt, is the fish out of water. It's our crew from the 23rd century in the late 20th century LA. And all the hilarity that ensues from there. So, Star Trek 3, Matt, we were underwhelmed by. It's generally considered that the even ones are the best. What do you think? Star Trek 4, where are we? Tell me your thoughts.
So once you can move past the completely ridiculous, even for Star Trek, plot of going back and rescuing humpback whales for some reason, it's fun. I mean, it is like you said, the film lives and dies on the whole fish out of water conceit, and the cast is game, and it's funny. I mean, I would say it's the funniest Trek that they have, film that they've ever made. I mean, the actors are game, and it's, again, you've kind of got that chemistry that everybody's got, and, seeing them walk around and kind of not know how to deal with the 20th century and its technology and things like that is a treat, I will say, to watch.
I agree. It is, and it is the most funny, and it's the funniest and most enjoyable film in the series, I think. I think Star Trek 2 is the best, but when I say enjoyable, it's just the most family-friendly kind of fun entry in the series out of any Star Trek film at all, ever, I think, including the Next Generations, including the relaunch. This is the one that is the most fun. So, and it's entirely because of what you say. It's the interaction of the crew. It's the fish out of water scenario. It's all of that. So it's having Chekhov in a U.S. Naval ship in the midst of the Cold War. We have a Russian guy in the middle of at a nuclear reactor of an aircraft carrier, which is awesome. So it's just the little things. One of my favorites is when Kirk has to sell the glasses so they have money, and Spock got a gift from McCoy, and that's the beauty of it. They will be again. It's just all these little kind of touches that work. Kirk on his date with Catherine Hicks. Everything works in this film. So that's why it's so fun. But you're right, it's an entirely ridiculous concept. But it easily has the most life and joy to it out of all those, especially after how dour Star Trek 3 was. This was a welcome relief. So one question I had for you, Matt, that I cannot wrap my head around. I'm all right with them inventing transparent aluminum.
Yes.
And making it. And I'm totally fine with this Klingon bird of prey being cloaked in the middle of a park for probably, a week, and nobody running into it. That's fine, too. Here's one thing I can't get. Where did they get the pictures of the Enterprise blowing up? Because remember, there's in the opening scene there where the Klingons are complaining to the Federation that Kirk killed a bunch of Klingons. There's scenes from Star Trek 3 where the Enterprise blows up.
Yeah.
How did they get those?
Maybe they got it from the Vulcan High Command. Maybe they were taking the Hubble. They had the Vulcan Hubble that was taking pictures of this. Or maybe somebody was Snapchatting the whole time. Who knows?
Okay. All right, then I'm good then.
Okay, good. We've solved that mystery.
So there's there's one other thing too. There's no real villain in this, right? So there's no Klingons. There's no, I guess, your villain is a probe that basically just wants to talk to some whales.
Right.
Which does that then beg the question, Matt? Are whales aliens?
Maybe it's kind of like a nod to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they're the other sentient life form on planet Earth, and we killed them. I guess I don't know why. I'm surprised that they don't have cloning technology where they couldn't have just grown a couple and thrown them out into the bay or something. But whatever. Hey, we're just going with this.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. It really, again, if it's one of these things that the plot, if you start and think about it, like even for 30 seconds, it's going to completely fall apart.
Yeah. So don't, but just sit back and enjoy.
Just accept it. Just accept it, and you'll enjoy your 2 hours of watching this film.
And I like too that when they travel back in time, I guess it's supposed to be Kirk's dream sequence. Though I don't quite understand what it is or why. I'm not sure what they're trying to tell us.
Yeah.
But whatever. And then whatever. I don't know. Listen,
it's so cheesy.
It falls apart if you think about it too much. It really does. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So just stick with it that way. You'll be all right. Which makes me nervous about next week for Star Trek 5. But I do have one question for you, Matt. So Star Trek 2, they got Khan in there, right? Yeah. Star Trek 3, they blew up the Enterprise. Now I'm talking about the Kelvin timeline. So we have Khan into Star Trek Into Darkness. We blew up the Enterprise and Star Trek Beyond. Do we go probe and whales in Star Trek 4 in the Kelvin timeline, or something similar?
I hope not. It's gonna be a probe and dolphins, maybe. I have no idea. I mean, I really hope not. I hope I hope they'll maybe just throw out some kind of a joke how it's ridiculous or something, but I don't know how they would play that. But yeah, I hope not. I hope not.
They do a couple nods to events from the original series throughout in the new movies. Like in Star Trek 2 with the whole mud, they had the ship from the mud incident.
Yeah.
There was one in Star Trek Beyond that I can't recall. Oh, which is one thing I totally forgot to talk about in Star Trek Beyond. What did you think of the introduction of the Prime timeline?
Oh, with the picture from Spock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say introduction because Spock is alive in this universe.
Right.
But still, or he was. But yeah, so in Star Trek Beyond, Leonard Nimoy's passed, right? But Spock dies in the beginning of the film, too. You don't see it. It's off screen. They're just alerted that he passes. And Spock Prime gives Spock Kelvin a picture of the original crew. And it's all the original actors and actresses.
Yes.
From the film series in the red suits. I really kind of think it's interesting because it really drives home that this is an alternate timeline as well. The uniforms haven't changed. Any of that stuff, it's interesting. I don't know. I thought it was an interesting nod, and I was happy to see that.
It just shows you they're still friends. That's what Spock wanted them to know. They all stuck together.
That's right.
That was the heart. There you go.
So there it is. All right, Matt. So next week is Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier. I have not seen this film, Matt, since it came out on VHS years and years ago.
I'm with you.
So
okay, I've got to say, I'm not really looking forward to it. And Nichelle Nichols and her fan dance.
I am. I'm going to read that article. I have to find out where it was again, where the gentleman makes a case for Star Trek 5 being an intellectual treatise on religious extremism. We'll see. I'll read it ahead of time. I'll watch it. I don't know. And plus, it's the one Shatner directed, and we all know I'm a big Shatner guy. So we'll see how that goes. Either way. All right, Matt. Shoot us an email, feedback@thefirstrun.com. Tell us your thoughts of Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. So far, I got to say, Matt, the evens, odd things hold up.
Yeah. I think it's going to hold true.
Yeah, I think so, too. So, Matt, let's. I promised something special for this next segment. So I hope you are ready for that. And a way for us to avoid licensing fees and running into problems, Matt, we're just going to do it. You ready? I'm just going to do a little bit. So here we go. Playing with the boys. Staying. Playing with the boys. So that's enough. So Matt, we're going to do the 5 best songs from movies. We had to give Kenny Loggins a shout out at some point. Because in the 80s, he was the go-to guy. If you needed a song for your movie, you went to Kenny Loggins because you got Danger Zone, you got Meet Me Halfway, whatever it is, the one from Over the Top. You got
Footloose.
Footloose, thank you. I mean, he was your guy. And thankfully, none of his songs made my list, Matt. In fact, no, they did not, and I'm happy about that. Well, I'm not gonna listen. I like Kenny Loggins. I have his greatest hits. Anybody who, if Archer thinks that you're a musical legend, I have to respect you.
This is true.
All right, Matt. So I'll go first. We'll give you the ultimate number one. This number 5 was actually probably one of the more difficult picks for me. I had 4 different songs in this slot, and I finally went. This is embarrassing, but I had to go. I basically decided I want to go to my iTunes play counter, and we're gonna see which one had the most plays. And it turned out to be "Magic" by Olivia Newton-John from the Xanadu soundtrack.
Wow, fantastic!
Written by Jeff Lynne, or at least co-written by Jeff Lynne, maybe Cliff Martinez. I don't know who it is. Whatever. Not Cliff Martinez. Dear Lord, no. Cliff Richards. Anyway, I have always loved this song. If you're not familiar with Magic by Olivia Newton-John, go ahead and pop it into YouTube and track it down. It is cotton candy for the soul. It is so 80s pop. And it's fantastic. So it's my number 5, just because I did it scientifically, Matt, and went with the play counter on my iTunes.
Well, that is the ultimate test of science. I think it's right up there with theory of relativity.
Thank you very much.
All right, so I do have to just say that. So I was trying to pick my brain on how I was going to do this.
Okay.
And really, I kept the ones I really wanted to keep picking. I know are not good, but I love them anyway. So my list is a little different. It's my favorite movie songs that are so cheesy, they're good. Okay.
I feel like you could apply that to me as well, unfairly. I would argue that they're so cheesy, they're good. They're just good.
Okay. Well, I know you're deadly serious about this stuff, so I would never dare to apply that to what you've got. Because you, in your mind, have impeccable taste.
That's true. I do.
All right. So, of course, when we announced this, I immediately thought of that volleyball movie. I thought of Playing with the Boys, but I didn't.
The most homoerotic scene, not in a gay pornographic film.
Yes. Yes. So I'll take one for the team. I'll take the bullet. I will put on Highway to the Danger Zone as my number 5. The most insanely repetitive song. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but basically it's the same 3 lines over and over and over again for 3 minutes.
Oh, I know Danger Zone.
Oh, everybody knows Danger Zone. But it's brilliant in its simplicity. I mean, like you said, Kenny Loggins was the man from the 80s. Yeah, and I have to say all of these are from the 80s, by the way, of course.
Are they? Not almost all of mine are. One of them isn't. So yeah, it's like George Harrison's "I Got My Mind Set on You," which is the same 2 lines in the same riff over and over again. Yeah, Danger Zone is part of that. That's fine. I thought it was. Yeah, that's fine. It's not. Yeah, that's fine. My number 4 is the greatest James Bond song of all time, Matt. Easily, hands down, the greatest James Bond song of all time that has words. I'm not including 007 or Under Majesty's Secret Service because those are technically the songs from those films. But no. So Matt, what is it? What is the best James Bond song of all time?
I don't know. What, I Live and Let Die, maybe?
No. Oh God, no. Oh,
Goldfinger?
No. Goldfinger. No. Well, Shirley Bassey's got a great voice, but no. Mm-hmm. No, it's not Goldfinger. You're too old. You're too old. You got to go much more. Let's do it this way. It happens to be applied to one of the worst James Bond films of all time.
I'm. You know what? I'm not ashamed to say I'm not as big a James Bond fan, so I'm drawing a blank here, buddy. You're just gonna give me some help here.
View to a Kill from Duran Duran.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Right. I should have got that.
That is hands down the best James Bond song ever. No, I'm not a big fan of any of the new ones. Maybe the one from Skyfall, Adele's is good. I actually don't even mind Sam Smith. I did not really care for Jack White and Alicia Keys' Quantum of Solace film, Another Way to Die. Chris Cornell's You Know My Name from Casino Royale is okay. Madonna's from Die Another Day is horrible. The worst, though, the hands down worst, is Lulu from The Man with the Golden Gun. Man, that is when I have a mix of Bond songs. I've every from all the films. Whenever when that comes on, I skip it every single time. I don't even know why it's in my playlist. I think just because I have to be correct, but I skip it every time. But Duran Duran's "A View to a Kill" is one of the best songs of the '80s, let alone movie songs.
That's a bold statement.
There you go.
That is a bold statement.
It is.
It is. All right, so you ready? You ready for the next this escalating fondue of cheese here that I'll start going on?
Please do. I'm gonna go. Is this a brie or is this more kind of like a cheddar?
No, I think this is more of a cheddar. Really, we have the brie. The brie's towards the top. I mean, that's the fancy stuff. So my next one is a little film, stars members of the Brat Pack. Terrible film, really forgettable, but a completely over the top, just the metaphors are beautiful. This is Man in Motion by John Parr from St. Elmo's Fire.
Honorable mention for me. Honorable mention. Yeah, that's a good one. I've been going back and forth and buying the love song from that too, because it's actually pretty strong too. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to sing it for you because nothing can do it justice, but go check it out, John Parr. You just really listen to the majesty of the eagles soaring, and it'll put you right there. It'll put you right there.
You're a Man in Motion, Matt. All you need is a pair of wheels.
That's very true. Man, true words have never been spoken except from the next three songs.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Matt, mine is the only current one on my list, which is Falling Slowly from Once. I probably could, if I wanted to, I could have all 5 songs from the one soundtrack. One of my favorite films, one of the best musicals you'll ever see. It's heartbreaking, heartwarming, all at the same time. Won an Academy Award. So yeah, Falling Slowly from Once is my number 3.
Yeah, that was initially on my list when I was taking it more seriously. That's a legit good song. I'll give you that one.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
This one.
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. So this one. So I don't know if the listeners are out there or no, but Chris is a child of the '80s. I don't know if he's mentioned this. And he has some serious favorite bands, and this guy right here is one of his favorite singers of one of his favorite bands, and it is the greatest sappy love ballad ever written. This is The Glory of Love by Peter Cetera from The Karate Kid. Fantastic song.
That is a good one.
Perfect for covers. One of my favorite punk covers ever is a version of that song. Honestly, huh?
Is that Me First and the Gimme Gimmes?
No, it's a Newfound Glory covered it for. They did a little 5-song EP of movie songs, and this one it is fantastic. But honestly, for just sugary, straight to the point, no subtlety whatsoever, Peter Cetera blowing his pipes out. Glory of Love, fantastic.
That is a good one. That's a good. I totally forgot about that one. It wouldn't have made my top 5. Would have been an honorable mention, but I did forget about that one. That's a good one.
Okay.
My number 2. All right, here's where things are tough. Again, I had to go to iTunes to the play counter for the final 1-2 punch here. So I'm surprised. I thought this was going to initially, when I first came up with this list, this was my number 1. And then this next song played a little later on in the evening. I'm like, nope, that's probably it. So then back and forth, iTunes settled it. So number 2, this has to be on your list. I must be stealing your number 1, which is Huey Lewis and the News' Power of Love from Back to the Future. Possibly the greatest. It could be the greatest song of the 80s. I think you could make an argument, but I think I have to stifle it. So we'll move on. Matt, what's your number 2?
No, please. It's not on my list. It's not on my list. It's not on my list. I was never a huge Huey Lewis and the News fan, and just by you waxing rhapsodic about this, all I can think of is Patrick Bateman before he kills Jared Leto talking about sports.
That is a good scene. So yeah. Paul. No, so yeah, Power of Love is fantastic. Huey Lewis is in the movie in Back to the Future. He plays one of the teachers, right? When he tells Marty he's just too damn loud.
Yes,
You didn't know that. So, but yeah, no, it's a classic song. It really it transcends the film itself, which all these songs I think do. Well, maybe not Magic, but Power of Love certainly does. It's a showstopper. It's the encore. It's a song you close out the concert with. So it's my number 2, Power of Love.
Wow. So we went with the glory of love, then to the power of love.
There you go.
We worked this out perfectly. All right, so this is my next 2 are really the ultimate montage songs. Okay.
I can't believe that wasn't even your top 5. All right, go ahead, continue.
Keep going. All right. So this is the second best montage song of the 80s. It tells a story. It tells a story while stuff is going on right now. While a man who's a bad guy, he's going to the top. He's pushing it to the limit. And this is Push It to the Limit by Paul Engelman from Scarface. One of the cheesiest songs I've ever heard in my life, but literally while I'm listening to that song, I swear to God, I can picture every scene of that montage of Tony Montana, obviously, making the town his bitch.
I can't even remember what that song sounds like. I haven't seen that movie in so long. I can't even remember because I remember I was too young to watch it at the time, and then now that I think about it, I don't know if I've ever seen the whole thing from start to finish.
Really?
I think it's just been pieces over the years. No, I must
honestly, Scarface I think has an elevated reputation. It's not very good in my opinion, but but that you watch the montage to Push It to the Limit and you will remember.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
If anybody can appreciate it, you will.
All right. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how to take that. Okay. So, my number 1, decided by my iTunes play counter, is I'm just gonna say it. It's "We Don't Need Another Hero" by Tina Turner. From
oh my God!
Beyond Thunderdome. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Yes.
There is something about this song, Matt. Whenever it starts, I have to stop and listen to it, whatever I'm doing. I don't know what it is. I have the extended version I was able to track down, which is like 5 or 6 minutes long, which it's more instrumental kind of stuff, much longer intro. But I don't know what it is, Matt. It's just I've always loved that song, and it's just Tina's voice is perfect in it. It's it fits the film perfectly. It's got these. It's the string. It's the what is it? It's the winds. I think it's the wind instruments on it really that kind of put it over the top for me. So I don't know what it is, but it's probably one of my all-time favorite songs. I just turned 41 a couple weeks ago or a week ago, and I was gonna sit and do like my top. I have a playlist which is all my favorite songs, and it's like 200 songs long. And I want to cut that. I want to do like a top 20 maybe.
Okay.
I think it would make the cut. I think that's in my top 20.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that song. I don't know if it just got me at the right time in my life growing up, but I absolutely love it. So it's my number.
Honestly, I can't even remember the last time I heard that song. But when you mention it, I can hear it. I can hear it in my head. So I guess that's something, right?
There you go. Listen to it tonight. Just pull it up on YouTube or watch it on your phone.
I will. And I'll listen to Magic because I'm drawing a blank on that one.
Oh, you're in for a treat. You may get a cavity, but you will enjoy it.
All right. So you ready for the ultimate number 1? This is only appropriate. Okay. So what did I say? These are the 2 greatest montages ever. So what's the second greatest or what's the first greatest montage ever? Where the song is just encapsulates what's going on perfectly on the screen.
That's got to be Eye of the Tiger from Rocky 3, right? Or 2?
No, it's not Eye of the Tiger. That's too good a song, Chris, for this list.
Oh,
the best is Danielson fighting through the regional championships of the karate to the sounds of Joe Esposito and You're the Best. One of my fondest memories of this song is I had it on my iPod. I was at a birthday party. They put on my iPod. They put on a playlist, and the whole party freaked out when this song came on. It is It is an underappreciated gem, Chris.
I guess so.
Underappreciated gem.
You didn't go with Dirk Diggler's cover of
We Got the Touch.
You Got the Touch. That's right. All right. Well, I don't. Yeah, that's fair. I guess. Good for you. I'm not sure. I feel half insulted by your list, but that's fine. Let's my honorable mentions. This was my initial top 5. These top 2 were in and out of my number 5, which is Rainbow Connection. But that was 78. Well, no, there's no time limit. What am I talking about? Yeah. Rainbow Connection from the Muppet Movie, which I love. Yeah. Moon River from Breakfast at Tiffany's. Against All Odds, Phil Collins. The Same Old Fire. Don't You Forget About Me. Separate Lives, another Phil Collins reference. Say You, Say Me, Lionel Richie from White Nights. And of course, How Deep Is Your Love, the Bee Gees from Saturday Night Fever.
There you go. So my top 5, or my honorable mentions, I should say. Threshold from Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I really like that song. Falling Slowly. I Need a Hero by Bonnie Tyler.
Right.
Black Sheep. Clash, which is Clash of Demon Head, also from Scott Pilgrim, aka that's really a band called Metric, and Moving Right Along from the Muppet Movie.
Ah, there you go, another Muppet Movie reference. Nicely done. Yeah. All right, I'm sure we missed a ton of them. Shoot us an email, let us know. feedback@thefirstrun.com. Again, we don't need another hero, Matt. Number 1. But you have to text me later or talk to me tomorrow what you thought about Magic. I'm dying to know your thoughts. Okay. If anybody else isn't familiar with Magic, go ahead and listen to it and shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. Thank me, curse me, whatever you want to do. You will fall in love with that song and hate me for the rest of your life. Next week.
Well, how can I avoid something that's described as cotton candy for my ears?
That's right. So next week, it's the return of Jason Bourne, Matt Damon, and Paul Greengrass, who elevated the action film genre at one point. Those last 2 Bourne films they did, Matt, Supremacy and Ultimatum, are fantastic. It's 9 years later. We'll see if the chemistry is still there. We're also doing Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, and then 2 weeks out, Matt, you know where we are. Suicide Squad hits. So right. There's a lot coming up. In the meantime, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. We're also on Instagram and YouTube. Just search for The First Run. The website's all screwed up right now because I tried doing some new stuff with it, and now I can't fix it. So enjoy that. And that's going to be the big show for this week. I'm going to take an extended break, though, and we'll see you all soon. Bye.
Watch where you're going, you dumbass! Double dumbass on you!